What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Mike, from Everyone Wants to Be Like Mike, presented to you by Notorious Pulls Radio. Today, the main topic is going to be deciding who would you rather build your franchise around, a point guard or a center, all right? And we're going to get into the difference between some point guards and some centers, and I'm going to discuss a few as well. Today, we're going to start off with one of my favorite centers, Joel Embiid, okay? We're going to talk about him, and we're going to discuss a lot of people's disappointments in him this year and, worries and whatnot, okay? So let's get right into it. Everyone is talking about how he had a very slow start to the season, and I agree in some respects, and you know what? In very minor respects, to be honest with you, all right? He missed 4 games already, so let's not forget that due to injury and illness. All right, it hasn't been anything significant or anything for us to worry about. Yes, he had a lot of God-ridden injury seasons, and we understand that. We know it's possible that it's going to happen to Embiid. But let me just compare his last year's averages to this year's averages. All right, and see how everything transgressed. All right. Last year, he averaged 30.6 points, 11.7 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.1 steal, 1.5 blocks, and 1.4 threes a game, shooting almost 50% from the field, all right, and 81.4% from the line, okay? Technically, this season, he's averaged 32.3 points, 10.1 rebounds, 4.1 assists, zero point 0.6 steals, 1.8 blocks, almost a 3 a game on 53.7% shooting from the field and 83% from the line, okay? Now look, yes, he dipped a little bit in rebounds. He dipped a little bit when it comes down to steals. No, not a little bit. He dipped quite a lot in steals, all right? And on top of that, he really didn't dip much in anything else. He's actually kind of went up by a very small amount in every single other category. We talk about blocks, all right? Talk about his field goal percentage, free throw percentage has all went up. All right, even his points has went up, have went up. All right, but look, let's look out of his last 7 games. Okay, so as of November 7th, the last 7 games, which is as of November 15th, a week before that, 8 days before that. So count from like November 7th or something like that. Okay. He has averaged 42.3 points, 11.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1 steal, 3.3 blocks. A phenomenal 3.3 blocks, less than a 3 a game, shooting 59% from the field and 82% from the line. And he has only played in the last 4 of 7 games. Okay, so that's really incredible to see. So he has jumped severely. So now we're gonna see him playing. All right, they have the Sixers have a 5 day break. They're playing November 13th. The next game is gonna be November 18th. All right, so let's see how he does. But again, all right, he missed the back-to-back games against Washington, and his game against New York Knicks, and then he comes back and he starts dominating, like I said, with 42.3 points averaged in 4 games, and so on and so forth. Like I said before, he looks like he's picking things up back in a he's picking things back up in a really big way. All right, and it's really great to see, specifically in his last 2 games. All right, in their November 12th win against the Hawks, he scored 42 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 1 3, shooting 50%, 6% from the field and 81% from the line. Okay, those are phenomenal numbers. All right, we're talking about over 40 points. Okay, 10 we talk about 10 rebounds, almost a triple double for the guys. So a 40-point triple double nonetheless. All right, and let's talk about their November 13th win against the Utah Jazz, where he put up an absolutely crazy stat line of 59 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and 7 blocks. Do you understand what I'm telling you? He basically almost had a quadruple double, all right? 8 assists, 7 blocks. He almost had a quadruple double. 2 more assists, 3 more blocks, he would have had a quadruple double. That is absolutely insane, all right? So don't sleep on the guy. Yes, he's injury prone, but he's still one of the best players in the game. He's playing better than Jokic this year, okay? And a lot of people haven't realized that, all right? So don't get too crazy. Don't get too worried. All right. I'm telling you, even with James Harden there, yes, we all kind of expected it to drop off, but it didn't really. He didn't really drop off last year. He got the he got the nod for MVP behind Jokic. He was doing amazing. Okay, so you can't really shed too much shade on him because you know what? He's the type of player that you know who could play next to an all-star caliber player just like him and James Harden. Okay, and still produce phenomenally. Okay, so yes, maybe he won't be a top four player. Okay, maybe he won't be a top five player, but he's certainly in that top 10 discussion, right? Without a doubt. Okay, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on that top five list. All right, for some people, and for some people he might not be. But point is, he's an amazing player, an extraordinary player. All right. Now look, if anything, it would make sense if he actually didn't do as well as he did last year. Because last year, we didn't see the James Harden that we're used to seeing, the Rockets James Harden, okay? We're not used to that, all right? We didn't see that. This year, before his injury, of course, and now he's out for this month, and whatever the case may be, he will be back. But look, James Harden has been playing phenomenally, all right? He's been averaging almost a triple double a game this year, right? And listen, it's hard to do that. It's hard to score and to be as productive as Embiid was last year next to a fully healthy and accessible. Okay, James Harden, he's released, you know. So to see them both playing at such a high caliber is really great to see because we couldn't see the same from Kyrie and Durant, for example, right? And now the Sixers are actually winning games, right? Now look, from a fantasy perspective, yes, he is number 15 right as of now on the year, and he was number three in the last week or so. So look, I get it if you drafted him in the second, third, or fourth pick, but look, you can't really complain much. Yes, in the beginning of the season, you could have maybe there was some doubts, but look at the guy. He's picking things back up. He's showing you that he's a top tier caliber player, all star caliber player, one of the best players in the NBA without a doubt. Okay, and there's no arguments behind that. So don't panic in your fantasy leagues, please don't. Yes, I have him in one of my fantasy leagues. He made me worry a little bit, but I see that you know what he's gonna get things back together and he's gonna keep it rolling. I'm telling you, all right. Even when James Harden is back, I don't see much of a drop off. All right. So let's talk about Jokic real quick, all right? And I want to compare the two. Okay, look, Jokic has won consecutive MVPs last year and the year before, all right? And like I said, Embiid was the second in line last year, which is not surprising at all right? Last year, but you see, you got to understand one thing: Jokic has dropped off significantly. And look, just to elaborate on that, last year he averaged 27.1 points, 13.8 rebounds, 7.9 assists, 1.5 steals, almost a block a game, and 1.3 threes a game, shooting 58.3% from the field and 81% from the line. Now, look, those are incredible numbers, okay? Those are the top four, top two, top three, top four numbers, okay? So he was absolutely incredible last year, but you guys are forgetting one major point from that difference between last year and this year is that Jamal Murray was out, and so was Michael Porter Jr., two players that take a lot of shots, okay, that will be taking those shots away from Jokic, and it is completely normal to see Jokic only averaging this year, okay? Okay, he's significantly went down in points, threes, and rebounds, and it's understandable. Okay, look, he's averaging 20.8 points, 9.5 rebounds, 8.9 assists, 1.5 steals, zero point 0.6 blocks, and 0.6 threes a game, shooting 60.6% from the line, and 87.5%. I mean, 60.6 from the field and 87.5 from the line. Now look, his averages went up. Okay, so think about it. His shots average went down, but his averages went up. That's common sense, right? So where did those shots go? Those shots went to Jamal Murray. They went to Michael Porter Jr. He didn't have them next to him last year. That's just normal. Okay. People should understand that. People shouldn't have expected top one value. From a fantasy basketball perspective, I understand that you guys are all pissed off. Yeah, you drafted him first, but he's eighth on the year, okay, and 15th in the last week, which is, I mean, disappointing for many who drafted him. But again, you guys should have expected that drop off. I would have never drafted Jokic first. I would have never done that. That's a guaranteed fact, all right? But everybody's their own person, and you guys should have, should foresee these type of things. You know that Jamal Murray is a high caliber shooter. You know that Michael Porter Jr. has the ball in his hands a lot. You got to understand, and it's shown by the fact, all right, that simply from the fact that, look, his shot selection average went down, okay, but his assist rate went up, okay, and his percentages went up, okay. That's perfectly reasonable, perfectly reasonable. Now look, Murray's averaging 14.8 shots on the game, okay? MPJ is averaging 13.1 shots, all right? So that's a lot of shots right there. That's basically 27 shots right there a game that's being taken away from Jokic. So don't be surprised, okay? Don't be surprised, all right? Yes, Jokic is still one of the best centers in the game. Don't ever confuse that. And he's one of the most, let's say, unique centers in the game, because what he's brought, factoring in the fact that he could space the floor the way that he does, that he can assist the way that he does for a big man and move around and shoot threes. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's really, really nice to see. And to compare Embiid and him, real quick, it's actually, there's not much of a difference between them. Look at Embiid. Embiid got his assist rate up to five assists a game. Now, look, it might not be as much as Jokic's almost triple double a game, but nonetheless, all right, Embiid is shooting at a higher level. All right, he's getting more rebounds than him. All right, and he got up his assist rate. So they're very similar players. They can shoot threes. They're dominant in the paint. So very, very similar players, as I would say. But moving on to our point guards of the day. All right, and the difference between them being actually not so similar. All right, I'm going to talk about Ja, and I want to talk about Darius Garland. All right, I'm going to start off with Ja. Drafted in 2019, just like Darius Garland. All right, he's one of the most explosive players to ever play the game, in my personal opinion. All right, last year he averaged 27.4 points, 5.7 rebounds, 6.7 assists, 1.2 steals, zero point 0.4 blocks, 1.5 threes, shooting 49.3% from the field and 76.1% from the line. Now look, this year he's averaging 28.8 points from 28.8 points, 6.7 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, okay? Hardly a block, okay? And 2.13, shooting 48% from the field and 78.8 from the line. Now look, he's missed 2 games this season. All right. He knows how to literally do a little bit of everything. Okay. He'll even get you that occasional block. I'm telling you, don't be surprised when he does. All right. He knows how to score, rebound, space the floor, go in for layups, dunk like an absolute monster, shoot from mid range, shoot from long range, and more or less play well on the defensive end. Okay. He'll get you a steal. He'll get you 2 steals a game. He'll get you maybe a block a game. Listen, what else can you expect from a point guard? Really, truthfully, right? The steals are expected, but could you really expect as many blocks as Ja could get? You can't really expect more than that. Right? Now, look, this kid is going to continue surprising everybody for years to come. Okay, drafted in 2019, meaning that he's in his 3rd year of the league. All right, and he's absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. He's so fun to watch, and let's not forget the fact that he's part of one of the best duos in the NBA right now, next to with him and Desmond Bane. Both him and Desmond Bane are all-star caliber players. All right, Desmond Bane is a shooter. He knows how to score. Okay, he has the second highest he has the second highest 3-point percentage rate. Okay, in the NBA, the first being obviously Steph Curry. But look at Desmond Bane. All right, absolutely amazing. All right, but look, Desmond Bane, unfortunately, okay, has been diagnosed with a grade 2 right big toe sprain and will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Just a quick, update for you guys, just so you know. Desmond Bane will be out for 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more. I told you guys, grade 2 sprains are not as simple as they sound. They are worse than they sound 100%. Look at LaMelo Ball. He just got back when he was told he was going to be back, in the beginning of the season. That wasn't happening. He came back a month later. All right. So look, don't be surprised if he comes back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. All right. Now look, from a fantasy perspective, Ja is 52nd on the year. Okay. But I expect that number to improve. It's mainly because his field goal percentage dropped and turnovers went up. That's all. All right, and that's going to stabilize a little bit. It's all going to stabilize. And you know what? To be quite honest with you, he's been a first-round caliber player from a fantasy perspective. All right, and I'm telling you, without the missed games, without the missed shots, he's going to get his shots back up. And I'm telling you, he's going to be a first-round, second-round player without a doubt. All right, let's go on to Darius Garland and speak about it. Also drafted in 2019, like I said. Last year, he averaged 21.7 points, 3.3 rebounds, okay, 8.6 assists, 1.3 steals, and 2.63 shooting 46.2% from the line, from the field, and 89.2% from the line. So almost 90% from the line, okay? This year, on the other hand, he's averaging 21.1 points, 2.3 rebounds, 8 assists, 1.4 steals, 3.13, shooting 39.3% from the field and 78.9% from the line, and he missed 5 or 6 games. Now, look, we all thought with the addition of Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen already being there, with Evan Mobley being there, we thought that Garland's going to come back and he's not going to have that many shot attempts a game. But that is actually not the case. That is not why he's down from last season. He's down from last season for the simple fact that his percentages are down, okay? All right, and significantly too. You gotta understand, his field goal percentage has dropped down significantly, okay, from 46.2%, like I said, to 39.3%. That means that he's making less than 40% of his shots, all right, which is the reason why he has digressed a little bit, all right. And on top of that, from going from almost 90% from the line, he's at 78.9% now from the line. So I'm telling you, as soon as his percentages stabilize, okay, he will also stabilize and he will come back to being the caliber player, the high caliber all-star player that we all know. Regardless of whether Don Mitch is there. Now, look, Don Mitch has been there this whole entire season. He's played next to Don Mitch, and yet he's still averaging 17.4 shots a game. Okay, last year he averaged 17.3 shots a game. So we know that Donovan Mitchell isn't taking away his shots, all right? He's not taking away his shots, obviously. He went from 17.4 to 17.3, 0.1 difference. No, the difference is that he's not making his shots. That's the only difference. But look at the bright light. Look, in the Cavs' November 13th loss to Minnesota, he scored a whopping 51 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 10 threes, shooting 51.6 from the field and 69.2% from the line. Now, look, he 51.2% from the field. He clearly knows how to drop shots. Okay, he obviously knows how to make his shots. So that has been the main problem. And look, again, another indication of why he's a little bit down this year. He was shooting 69.2% from the line. Like he's a 90% shooter, 85% shooter from the line. Okay, was 85 at the lowest. All right, so don't worry about it. It's all gonna stabilize. It's all gonna stabilize. All right. Now look, he shot 31 times that game. And since he had more shots, you would expect, if anything, look, a person's shot selection goes up, a player's shot selection goes up, there's a higher chance of you missing more shots. So a higher chance for you to have a lower field goal percentage. So on the fact that he's shot 31 times and he's made what, more than half of them, you could tell that he's obviously capable of shooting at that level. Whether Don Mitch was missed that game or not, it doesn't make a difference. He won't be making 51 points a game, 59 points a game, or over 50 points a game. We get that part. But no matter what, next to Don Mitch or not, he's still going to be doing well. All right, so don't sleep on him. All right, he is 84th on the season from a fantasy perspective, but like I said, it's mostly because he missed 6 games and his shots haven't been falling. Just give him time; he's gonna be fine. Don't panic, okay? In your fantasy leagues. Now look, I'm going to compare these 2 point guards. These 2 point guards are very different, all right? John Morant is the type of player that he takes over in the game, all right? And Garland is more facilitator. All right, he's a facilitator, and John Moran is too. But John Moran is more explosive. He'll get the shots, he'll get the rebounds, he'll do everything. You're almost a triple double game. You won't see that from Garland, but Garland is more of a facilitator. He's the type of guy that you would want to surround your team around. That's why Donovan Mitchell is getting so much shots. That's why Evan Mobley's playing so well. That's why Jared Allen's playing so well. They're getting fed by Darius Garland. That is what he does. Okay. Now, who would you rather build your franchise around? Would you rather build it around centers like the ones that we've spoken about, or point guards like the ones that we spoke about? Yes, the 2 centers that we spoke about are very similar. Okay, and the 2 point guards that we spoke about are actually very different. Now, who would you rather, you know, build your franchise around? I'm genuinely asking you a question. So please, after the podcast or thereafter, please send me your theories. Send me, if you were given millions of dollars right now, able to start a franchise, who would you want to center it around? Would it be a point guard like Darius Garland who could facilitate? Would it be a point guard like John Moran who could take over the game, facilitate, rebound, do a little bit of everything and show and get his team involved? Or would you rather have centers leading leading your team, such as Joel Embiid, who can absolutely take over, all right, in the game, all right, and or Jokic, who could be an amazing center, get you the rebounds you need, the defensive stats, and still facilitate on the assist end of things. Okay? That's my main question for today. My personal opinion is, I told you guys before, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of bigs. All right, I love centers, and I usually any fantasy team, regardless of what it is, I usually try to center them around my centers. All right, that's just who I am because I like aiming for those field goal percentage. I like aiming for rebounds. I like aiming for defensive stats because that's what wins games. Okay, that's what wins games. I think, in my personal opinion, defense wins games, and a great defense builds a great offense. In my personal opinion, but you know what? Everybody might be different. Okay. And that's what I want from you guys. All right. Please comment. All right. Comment or DM me if you guys ever need any fantasy help with absolutely anything. I'm more than glad to help you out. All right. Please, guys, reach out. Don't be shy. All right. I'll get back to you right away. Once again, everybody, this is your host, Mike from Notorious Pulls Radio. Thank you once again for watching. We love you.